Plaintiff Kalia Robinson worked as a nanny for the defendant and his estranged wife. Kalia claims the defendant got custody of their children while DCFS was investigating his wife, and Kalia continued to watch the children. But she's suing because the defendant failed to pay her. Defendant Christopher Banks says when DCFS was investigating his wife, he had to beg the social worker to give him the children, as opposed to turning them over to the state. Christopher insists he gave Kalia's money to his estranged wife to pay her, so he owes nothing.
Start with you.
All right, just want to say my grandmother loves you. We watch you every day. She wanted to come. I'm like, I'm gonna be on Uncle Matt's show because you've been my long lost uncle for forever.
Uncle Matt. Uncle Matt. Uncle Matt. Okay. All right, that's what I've been told. Uncle Mathis. That's what the young generation calls him.
Yes.
All right,
okay.
Ahead.
So I met Mr. Banks. We used to work at a bar together. I was the host. He came in as a new head chef. Our relationship was real cordial. We played, laughed, pranked, everything. He asked me to babysit his kids one day, and I was like, you don't even know me like that. You want me watching your kids? And he was like, yeah, sure. You know, me and my wife just want to go out maybe some weekends and have a good time. I'm like, okay, cool. Just let me know in advance, and I wouldn't mind. So around August of 2018, he asked me to become his full-time nanny.
Okay.
And I was like, sure, at the time.
How many hours would that consist of? Did you know?
It
Project the number? Okay.
Yeah, it varied because he worked long hours and she worked pretty normal hours from about like 8 to 4:30-ish. But it depends because we worked at a sports bar, okay. So with him.
Now, how much were you getting?
$12 an hour.
$12. That's the going rate?
All
right, because sir, when I'm not taping, we tape every other week for 7 months, and all those other days, I'm the nanny for my granddaughter. I am.
Girl, you should start charging.
She comes over every day at 2 p.m., and
yes.
I make sure I'm at home when she comes over, and my daughter comes to pick her up at 6:30.
Yes.
So how much am I? 4
okay, you
and a half hours?
Yeah, you need to calculate that for him.
I do it out of love, but I'm sure you love the kids too,
yeah,
didn't
they cheat you.
Love don't pay no bill.
They surely don't.
54
a day.
A day?
Oh,
all right, 54 a day.
55 to make it
I should be getting
55 to make it just even.
Make it an even 55. All right. That's what I'm gonna be getting from now on. Linda can do it for free if she wants to. I love the baby just as much as her, but I got to get my ends. How much were you getting?
$12 an hour.
$12. That's the going rate?
All
right, because sir, when I'm not taping, we tape every other week for 7 months, and all those other days, I'm the nanny for my granddaughter.
Plaintiff Kalia Robinson is suing her former employer because she claims he failed to pay her for babysitting his children.
Go ahead, need my bread.
Okay, so around August 2018, I came in as their full-time nanny. At the time, him and his wife were separated when I came in. They weren't living in the same home. Around October 2018, an incident happened with his oldest daughter where she was at home with me. It was a weekend, and she was playing, and she was jumping on the cabinet, and she held onto the cabinet and hit her eye when she came back. And so she went to school maybe a couple of days later. Since she's light-skinned, she bruised kind of days later because she didn't bruise when she was with me. So she bruised, and they asked her what happened, and she told them she got into a car accident and something came through the windshield. But then she later on told them the real story of what happened, but you can't do that at school. So they end up calling DCFS. They end up taking the children away.
Really?
From the mother, yes. I've never seen anything done like that.
But she fell under your supervision.
Yep.
Did you tell them that?
Yes, showed them evidence and everything, and that case manager was terrible to this family. They were terrible to them. So
how long was the children removed?
60 days.
How many?
The mother didn't have their kids for Thanksgiving, Christmas.
See, these folks don't have common sense.
Yeah, it was not fair.
You know, there's law, there's policy, and then there's common sense. Let me hear from you, sir. You give me some background on this.
Everything she stated as far right now is correct, 100%. Yeah, the children did get removed from the house, and they stayed under me under supervision for that.
But what did they do? They spoke to your child?
They spoke to Anya first.
Yeah, and then she tell them that it happened under her supervision, and that it was her doing what children do sometimes?
It was actually a video of it, and it's different here than in Michigan. It's way different. So they removed the kids from the mother's house and they put them under my care. And during that under my care, they demanded.
Thank God it was under one of the parents' care, but go ahead.
They were going to basically give them
Traumatized
to the state. So, and basically I had to talk the social worker off the ledge because when I walked in the room, she says, those kids are not going home tonight. Like before I even said anything.
How are the children now in light of that type of trauma? Thank God they went with their dad, but it could have been different.
It was emotional. I mean, the first couple of days were just some getting used to and just them adapting to like not having their own room and everything like that. But I mean.
All right. Go ahead. The unpaid wages, how are you owed? And late fees?
Okay, so we agreed on $12 an hour every 2 weeks according to his pay. Now, December 10th through the 21st, he owed me $753 for those 2 weeks. I texted him in advance, contacted him and everything to make sure that he's aware that that's the amount that he owes. I got one response from him saying he was supposed to pay me the next day that it was due, December 28th. He was going to pay me the 29th at 10 a.m. After that, I kept texting him. I kept emailing him, calling him, and got no response whatsoever.
All right. What do you have there? You have the emails?
Yes, emails and text messages.
And you haven't gotten any response or understanding since then?
I've even called him.
Your final text.
Final?
Well, both, all of them, but the final, I want to make sure you point that one out.
So
the last thing.
This one and these two are together. These are two separate conversations.
Which one's last?
That one.
Okay.
Sorry, what do you say to this?
I paid my wife to pay her.
Pardon me?
I paid my wife to pay her. And I don't know what she does with the funds.
Well, ma'am, I may have to agree with some of that. I don't know what my wife does with my funds. I swear I don't. Because all I get is no's when it's time for me to get something. We don't have it. How you not gonna have it? All the money I bring in. Yeah, but you don't have it. So I sympathize with you on that, but the law will not exclude that, sir. The problem is you all are jointly liable. What you're suggesting is that your wife is the one responsible because you gave her the money instead of giving her the money as you all owe, because when you gave your wife the money, you acknowledged that you owed the young lady. You expected your wife to take the money that you paid for owing the young lady. Here, wife, give it to her. Wife gets it from you and goes shopping.
Correct, Your Honor.
So she stole from you. You got to sue your wife, which you're unable to do because it's joint property. Your money you gave to your wife, that's her money too. That's the problem you have. She is on the out. She's the only one that has lost money. You and your wife didn't lose money because whatever your wife did with that money, it was hers too. You didn't lose because she didn't lose because it's joint property. In the law, you can't steal from your spouse. How long was the child removed? The children removed?
60 days.
How many?
The mother didn't have their kids for Thanksgiving, Christmas.
These folks don't have common sense.
Yeah, it was not fair.
You know, there's law, there's policy, and then there's common sense.
Plaintiff Kalia Robinson is suing her former employer because she claims he failed to pay her for babysitting his children.
And the late fees, ma'am, that seems a little excessive, though. The late fees are as much as the unpaid wages.
My late fees are $75 a week. Now, I asked him,
I don't think that's legal. What?
It's $15 a day. So a week, it would be $75. I've contacted him.
You better be glad I can't count and Doyle don't have his calculator on him, because that sounds illegal. But, well, you said $55 a day. It's what you were making, right?
No, that's what you're making.
That's what I'm making.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, that's what I should be making.
No.
All right.
No.
How much were you making on average?
Well, it depends on
per day. Average. Didn't you work consistently?
At least 10 hours a day.
Huh?
At least 10 hours a day. I had those kids.
Okay, so that was $120 a day, right? I'm going to give you $5 a day, which is a lot of times what landlords get. So, sir, I'm going to deduct some of these late fees for you and grant you, ma'am, $1,000. He owes $753 because he gave it to his wife and his wife didn't give it to you, and they have joint liability. So whatever happened to that money is between him and his wife. We know you didn't get it. And then I'm going to add $250 for late fees for that time. All right? Have a good day. Sorry to hear about your situation. I hope your family is going to be fine.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Judge.
I'm just glad I finally got my money, and hopefully he learned his lesson.